Hi, everybody. Happy Wednesday. I realized that my phone's up a little high. Hope you guys can hear me. Happy Thanksgiving. If nobody's told you you might incur a turkey fire during the holidays, I'm here to let you know you might incur a turkey fire during the holidays. Sometimes it happens in an oven, and sometimes it happens with a fryer. But when you manage a bunch of doors over the holiday period, you can anticipate at least one turkey fire. One year I had 4 turkey fires between all my properties. 4 turkey fires. Good God. That's a whole lot of people eating at Denny's. Just saying. All right, you guys, if anybody has anything they want to talk about, let me know. I understand today is the day before a holiday and we may not have a lot of participation because people are traveling and or already where they need to be for the holiday and they are day drinking. So with that being said, I anticipate us not having a large crowd today. I also saw something. Let me just double check. Hello, Victor. Welcome. Happy Thanksgiving. Yes, and no fires. Yes, just be ready for those turkey fires. They can come. Also, Arlene, I see that you're on here. I just want to say I got your birthday card yesterday. Thank you. That was so special. Thank you, thank you, thank you. My birthday is on Saturday and I'm a turkey baby. So usually when I was a kid, I'd show up at Thanksgiving dinner with all the family and my friends and my family would say, "Oh, we got you pumpkin pie." No, they didn't. They forgot. So it's a big thing for me and I appreciate you remembering it was my birthday. Thank you. That means a lot to me. I
You're
think I'm
welcome.
gonna hide in my room all day. I don't like to travel on my birthday because it's Thanksgiving weekend. It's like you don't want to go anywhere, you don't want to do anything, and all your friends already have plans. So it's just something I try to shove on the back burner. And thank you so much for acknowledging that. It means the world to me. I appreciate you.
Sure. We
I really,
appreciate you. Did you have a nice Thanksgiving last weekend?
I did. I
Good.
did. I had a great Thanksgiving. You know what I'm doing for Thanksgiving tomorrow? Cleaning up
No,
the mess from last weekend.
sounds like fun.
All right. Hey, at least I'm not going to be bothered while I'm putting away all my Thanksgiving decor. Oh, it's really hot in this room I'm in. It's really cold today, but this room that I'm sitting in gets the natural sunlight, so it heats up like an oven, and I am wearing a sweater, and I all of a sudden want to get out of this room. So my question to you guys is, what kind of questions do you have for me today? Be ready for turkey fires. They do exist, they do happen. And somebody's going to tell me next week, "Hey, Patty, you shouldn't have said that because damn you, I had a turkey fire." I'm letting you know they happen. Okay. Um, just be prepared for it. And I always ask a question when they call and say, "We had a small cooking fire in the house." I always ask one question. Did the fire department come? Because let's face it, if somebody accidentally lights a paper towel on fire on the stove, you're going to put that out relatively quickly. There's probably going to be a mess. It's probably going to set off the smoke alarm. But other than that, you really don't have a problem. But if the fire department comes, it means there was a bigger problem than you think. So anytime somebody calls to report a fire, one of the first questions I ask is, was the fire department called? Okay, it tells me a whole lot. Sometimes they want to downplay the situation based on what's going on. Sometimes they want to upplay the situation. So ask specific questions to help you determine whether this is a paper towel on fire on the stove or if it's a 3-alarm fire. Okay, there's a lot of questions we can ask the tenant specifically to help us determine what's going on there. Okay, and I see people are having problems and we got questions. Oh, look at all the
Patty, I just have a
birthday
quick
messages. I love it.
Patty, I have a quick question. There was actually a fire in the building across the street a few days ago,
Okay.
and it looked pretty substantial. who's responsible for, I guess, relocating tenants and stuff like that? Is that on their renter's insurance, or is it on the landlord?
What was the cause of the fire? Number one. Number two, is the tenant in a lease term or on a month to month? Because on a term, guess who has to provide them a habitable dwelling?
Mm-hmm. Yep, landlord.
On a month to month, you might not have to. If the cause of the fire was because of the tenant's negligence, you may have a little bit more pull. So there's a lot of moving parts and pieces that I can't answer without
Mm-hmm.
looking at the written contract. Make
I see.
sense?
And what about other tenants that might be impacted?
Same thing. It all
Mm-hmm.
depends on if they're on a month to month, if they're on a 1 year term. Look at it this way. If one tenant in a 30-unit apartment building causes a fire and it damages 20 units and only 10 are not damaged and can completely function, the landlord has now been put in financial hardship based on the tenant's negligence and can probably terminate that tenant, but is still going to have to place the other 19 that are displaced at the owner's expense.
Mm.
It wasn't those 19 tenants' fault. It was just one tenant's fault. Make sense? And sometimes it's uninhabitable due to smoke damage. Sometimes it's uninhabitable because the electrical lines were compromised in the fire and the fire department has shut off power to the entire building.
Mm.
When that happens, you got to place everyone that's displaced. Make sense?
So then it doesn't matter at that point whether they're on a lease or not.
It just depends. If it's no fault of the tenant, then the owner needs to step up to plate. If it's
Right.
at fault of the tenant, different set of facts. I need to see the contract.
I see. Okay, thank you.
No problem. And I saw a bunch of stuff come through. So let me get back over to my button pushing. I know you guys see me doing this. Sorry. Could be worse. Question on disability. Tenant is a veteran, but since move in has been disabled. Okay. He lives upstairs in a shared stairwell. I hope he lives in a unit with a shared stairwell. Just saying. Sorry, Melanie. There is also a porch stair separate from the stairwell. What are we obligated to do for him? Insurance says it's tricky for us, understandably. Is he telling you that he needs to move because he can't handle the stairs? If he's not, you need to do nothing. Because by telling him he has to move because he's disabled, you're creating a problem. Kit gloves, okay? If the tenant isn't telling you they need to move because they're disabled to a downstairs unit, it's not your problem. Eliminate yourself from that equation, okay? I'm having issues with volume. I will try another time. Okay, Nick. Also, thank you for your voicemail on 7th Avenue, apartment 201, eviction lockout. I only got it yesterday late. Do you have a moment to talk about it? Melanie, I am sitting here in the office. You can call me after this is over at the office, but I'm not in front of my computer, so I can't pull up addresses. But if you want to ask me questions, unmute yourself and ask away. But if you want specific answers based on your case volume when we're done here today, just call the law firm and I'll be more than happy to look it up for you. But I'm not in front of my computer. I'm sitting in one of the attorney's offices that isn't here today. So I don't have a computer in front of me. Perfect, no problem. Sometimes you guys ask me questions and I know right off the top of my head, but if you're looking for specifics on your case matter, I got a photographic memory, but it works when it wants to and not the way I want it to work. I wish it did, but it doesn't. Like if I read a document, I usually have it memorized. So like I can tell you on your car forms, your attorney's fees clause is usually paragraph 38 or 42, depending on what year that car form was created. And it's about 3/4 of the way down in the center of the page. Is that bad? Yeah. Yeah. Doesn't work the way I want it to, you know? I want somebody to show me something and me have a picture of that in my head. Like, here, Patty, look at this. Tink. Okay, I got a full picture of it in my head. No, it don't work that way. It works a different way, not the way I want it to. But some things I do have at memory, and I can't explain how it works. I can't. Like if I know I need to retain something, I'll pick one part of it to keep, but I don't retain all of it because, hey, I can't. Threshold rent. I can tell you for a 2-bedroom in LA City market threshold rent, a 2-bedroom unit requires $2,222. A 3-bedroom unit is $2,888. So there's some things I memorize verbatim just by looking at it once. I couldn't tell you the price on a 4-bedroom. I couldn't tell you the price on a 1-bedroom, and I couldn't tell you the price on a studio, but I could tell you for a 2-bedroom and a 3-bedroom, probably because a 2-bedroom or a 3-bedroom is most common in that city. So I get a lot of questions about it. So it's something that I'm consistently repeating. So it just stuck in my head. I don't know. I'm getting older. Maybe I'll start forgetting some of that stuff that's pictured in my memory that I don't need to retain. How about anybody else? Anybody else have questions? And I wasn't joking about the turkey fires. They do happen around Thanksgiving. And somebody's oven isn't going to work. That's going to happen too. But they're not going to tell you until the emergency line rings tomorrow. It's those things. All right, I see more questions coming in. You guys are awesome. Roadrunner. Hi, baby. For security deposit change in July of 2024. Yes, what you're speaking of is the new security deposit law. It takes effect July 1st of 2024, stating that landlords can only ask for 1 month's rent of us as a security deposit unless they own 2 or less houses, can charge 2 times the security deposit. If the owner has 8 houses, puts each one in a separate trust, they're able to charge 2 times the security deposit once each trust is its own entity. And if they still have all their houses in trust, how do we verify whether they have more than one house? You're making this way too hard for you, okay? Way too hard. If an owner has 8 houses and puts each one in a separate trust, are they able to charge 2 times the amount of the security deposit? No. They only get 2 houses. That's it. And even if they're in trust, they can do a report to find out who's linked to those trusts. So landlords that are trying to defeat the system just so they can ask for double the rent as a security deposit need to stop. It will catch up with them sooner or later, and they will get their rear ends handed to them. So for corporate America, for the most part, we're just telling people the law changes July 1st. You can charge 1 month's rent as a security deposit. Most of your landlords own more than one property. So it's just going to apply to everybody. Okay. With a single family residence in LA, if they are not under RSO and not that threshold 2-bedroom, etc., what are eviction rules if they're behind in rent? You're scaring me. City of LA is who has threshold rent. So if you're not subject to RSO, you're still subject to City of LA's bullshit of threshold rent. If you're exempt from threshold rent, which I don't know how you do that if you're in the city of Los Angeles, then unincorporated DCBA governs you, if that's what you're asking me. Sorry, not eviction rules. I meant posting a 3-day notice or procedure.
Patty, sorry, it's Melanie.
It's okay. Ask me
It's
your
just,
question again, because
so
girl, some turkey booze or something got in there.
something going on. I don't know. I'm really sorry. I wrote it very quickly. A friend of mine has his girlfriend has a $12,000 rental in Silver Lake, and they are not paying because he's an actor and he's delayed and blah blah blah. The usual. And she wasn't sure, and I don't have a single family in LA, so I don't know if it falls under that same threshold of 2222. That's what I meant.
But what I'm trying to tell you is without saying it, their rent's 12 grand, correct?
Correct.
They're over threshold, serve a 3-day.
Right, that's what I was saying, because the threshold doesn't go up that high, so they could just serve it regardless. Okay.
The threshold is for people that are very, very low rents. Example, some people in LA have rents that are $600 a month.
Right.
Those people have to wait. If they have a 2-bedroom unit, they have to wait until their tenant is $2,222 behind before they can serve the 3-day. You have the opposite problem, so serve it.
Got it. Thank you.
No restrictions, serve it.
Okay, thanks. And whilst I have you, if you wouldn't mind talking about that property quickly, it was so it's an LAR, so there's a sheriff lockout already, a different property, sorry, an apartment. The eviction's in process. The sheriff's lockout is Monday, and the tenant keeps saying that she's got some sort of hearing on Tuesday already. And she filed some sort of document, and she showed my colleague a document that was stamped by the court, and she went down there and paid $40 or something like that. So do we
wanna laugh your butt off with me?
Yes.
Okay. I'm assuming, and I'm assuming, okay? Assume, okay? In other words, these aren't facts. What you're telling me, this case never went to trial. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Tenant stayed in the unit, hid in there, and was going to wait until the sheriff posted the notice for them to vacate before they filed an emergency ex parte hearing notification to recall the writ of possession, set aside the judgment, and allow them 5 days to file an answer. It's the new tactic tenants are learning to utilize to buy them more time in the property. Here's your catch-22, if you will. Okay?
Yep.
Your lockout is on Monday.
Yes.
Monday, the sheriff is going to go there, and the sheriff is going to most likely kick her out of the property.
Got it.
Okay? You paying attention?
That's what we want. No, that's what we want. I know
Hold on. On Tuesday, there could be an emergency ex parte hearing notification to set aside the judgment, recall the writ of possession, and allow them 5 days to file an answer. Here's the problem with the whole caveat, okay? On Tuesday, after the tenant's been locked out, the judge no longer has jurisdiction in this case matter.
Hey. Yeah, amazing. Okay. Perfect.
Got it?
Yes.
In my career, and you know how long I've been doing this, I don't have to tell you. One time,
wow.
The judge ordered the tenant to be able to be back in the property. One time in 30-something years, okay?
Wow. Okay.
In other words, it doesn't happen.
Got it.
The court no longer has jurisdiction once the sheriff has kicked them out.
Right.
So her little plan of action just backfired because of the Thanksgiving holiday.
Thank goodness. Okay, perfect. Thank you so much.
Again, I'm assuming in a lot of areas here, don't take anything I said as fact, but after the fact, we'll be like, oh yeah, that's exactly what happened.
Yeah. No, that's what my partner had said to me, but I just want to be sure.
You wanted to hear it again.
Yes, I guess so.
Yeah.
The
judge, once a lockout takes place, the court no longer has jurisdiction. In other words, it's out of their hands.
Right.
They
Right.
can't go make the sheriff open the door and let them back in. It doesn't happen that way.
So our locksmith said, a new locksmith, he said, now be careful the amount of time that you allow the tenant to gather their belongings. Because if you don't give them 2 hours, give them 15 minutes. What's the
Okay, now
about that?
you're in Patty's arsenal of how do you manage investment property? Okay.
Yeah.
So this is what I do when I show up at a sheriff lockout every time.
Okay.
Okay. I'm sorry. You heard the officer. You have just until the locksmith is finished changing the locks to gather your personal belongings and vacate the property. In the event you'd like to make an appointment with me to come back at a later date to obtain your personal belongings, you can call my office later today and we'll see if we can't put you on the schedule for first thing next week. What I'm telling you is I'm not going to sit here for 4 fucking hours while you empty all your personal shit out of the house today. You've
Right.
had plenty of time to prepare for this, and now you're going to do it on my schedule, not yours.
And one more question. I love all of that. If she tries to break,
And then
yeah.
on a second note, leave one of the windows unlocked because they're just going to break in and steal their own shit back. And why
Right.
have to pay to replace a window? Just leave the window unlocked.
What if she moves back in?
Then I'm going to have her arrested for trespassing because of a lockout order.
Okay. All right. Got
She
it.
can be arrested for trespassing if she's caught on the property without your permission. At
Right.
any time, you can say, you need to leave now. And if she doesn't leave, you call the police. If they're still there when the police arrive, she gets arrested for trespassing.
Which
That's
she
what that lockout order is, that big red piece of paper they tape in the window. That's what that says.
Right. Got it. Okay. All right. Thank
So
you.
yeah, I have a method to my madness. And some people are like, Patty, did you just advise people to leave the window unlocked or the back door unlocked? Hell yes, I did. It's expensive to replace glass.
is.
Those dual pane windows are like $800.
It
I
is,
would
you're right.
rather leave the window unlocked, have them break in, steal their stuff, less work for me.
Yeah,
Just
yeah,
saying.
Yeah, no, I agree.
There's an easy way to combat that whole problem.
Okay, got it. Thank you. I'll let you know how it goes next week.
No problem. Chances are the judge is going to say at the trial on Tuesday that they no longer have jurisdiction in this case matter, and therefore the motion is denied.
Let's pray for that.
But if your legal counsel hasn't been notified of the motion, it might
No.
not have been filed with the court. Wink, wink.
Right, right. Got it. Thank you.
No problem. Everybody giggle because those are the best cases ever when a tenant thinks they got you and they don't know the rules. Those always make me chuckle under my breath. Ha ha ha. It's kind of like hold my beer, watch this. Anybody have anything else they want to discuss? I see something else. Can you please tell us what happens with a lockout? What do you mean, Arlene? Unmute yourself and explain.
I've never experienced one. So does the
Oh,
does
okay.
the
So
does the sheriff
usually
contact you? Do they have a
the
time?
sheriff calls
what
you
happened?
and they schedule a time. I'll give you an example. Let's say they're going to do it at 2:30 today. And the only reason I'm saying this is because I notified somebody this morning about a lockout, a reminder at 2:30 today. Sheriff's going to be there at 2:30. You're going to show up at 2 o'clock, so you're early, not late. Got it? You're going to sit there and wait for the sheriff. When you see him pull up, you're going to run out there and wave your arms and say, hi, I'm the landlord. Otherwise, sometimes they pause and they don't see anybody hanging around, standing around, so they just keep on going. You just missed your lockout. Oh, so I always flag them down, wave them down. Hi, officer, I'm over here. They come over and talk to me. We approach the front door. The sheriff will knock on the door. If the tenant doesn't answer the door, the locksmith then starts picking the lock. Once the lock is picked, the locksmith and me stand outside. The sheriff then enters the dwelling and makes sure there's no booby traps, for lack of a better way to explain it, or nobody hiding in a closet. That's the sheriff's job, is to secure the premises from anybody hiding in there. Okay, then they come out and they say, okay, they tape the red paper in the door. That's the trespass order. And they say, property's yours. Have a nice day. If the tenants are still there, they will explain to the tenant that they have 15 days to remove their personal belongings. After 15 days, the landlord can throw them away and deem them as trash. They will also explain to them that this is now the landlord's property and they need to make an appointment to come back and pick up their personal belongings. Any medication, pets or animals need to leave with them right now because the chances of them being able to come back today are slim and none. Because I don't have an appointment available today, I need to book it for next week.
So
Okay,
they shouldn't have a mover that day then, or
exactly. It just depends on what happens in the circumstances. A
Mhm.
lot of times tenants stay there and think that the sheriff's really not going to come and lock them out. They're sadly mistaken. And I
Mm.
don't ever sit there and argue with them or wait for them to get all their belongings out. I always say, when the locksmith's done, you got to go.
Okay.
You have until the locksmith is completed and then we will be leaving. I will schedule an appointment with you at a later date because I don't want to sit there while they move all their crap, because what they do is run their mouth. I've
Mhm.
learned this the hard way. Okay. So the easy way is to say, we'll make an appointment to come back at a later date. Otherwise, you just sit there and end up arguing and fighting with them for hours while they empty all their stuff out. I ain't doing that. I don't get paid
Mhm.
enough to do that. No.
Mhm. Okay,
I
thank you.
I don't want you here moving one item out at a time. I want you to call everybody you know, come with 30 people and move everything out in less than an hour. That's what I want. All right, does anybody have anything else? Widget is melting in this sweater. He's hot. Only in this room though. As soon as I walk back out in the other room, I'll freeze again. All right, you guys. So for the holiday season, you will have a tenant that calls you and tells you the oven's not working. Remember this quote. Thank you for bringing it to my attention. I'll make sure we notify the workmen at the first available business day. First available business day. Got it? Because they're going to expect you to come fix their oven now, right now. It's not going to happen. Next available business day. Just trying to help give you verbiage to avoid problems over the holiday. That's all. Oh, I'm so sorry that happened to you. Thank you for letting us know. I'll let your property manager know, and we'll let the workmen know, and see if we can't schedule you an appointment at their very next available business day. All right, you guys, I'm going to get out of here. Have a wonderful holiday. Okay. Hi. You have any excellent website for landlord information? Yeah, check out AGLA, aagla.org. Happy Thanksgiving. And it's a happy birthday to me too. I'm getting older on Saturday. I don't like it. I don't think any of us like getting older, but the alternative sucks. Right? Yes, I can. aagla.org. I got you, Mike. Here it's coming. Bink. Put a www in front of that. agla.org is one of the best apartment associations, in my opinion. They cover a lot of areas and they give out quite a bit of information. And this Tuesday, the 28th, I'll be teaching a class of great ideas in property management that just don't work anymore. So that's going to be on Tuesday, the 28th. I hope you guys can join us for that. That's an AGLA class. It'll be a good one. It's all about the things that we've been charging and we can't, like month-to-month fees, additional occupant fees, pet rent, late fees. We're going to be talking about all of these on AGLA's class on Tuesday, okay? So sign up for it if you haven't already, and I'll see you guys then. Have a wonderful Thanksgiving. Oh, thank you, thank you. enjoy your family, enjoy your friends, and take a deep breath, okay? All right, you guys
Hey,
have a
happy
great week.
Thanksgiving, everyone. Bye. Happy birthday.
Oh, thank you, thank you, thank you. Bye, everybody.